Good afternoon. How are you all? I know some of you are native Russian speakers, and some of you would understand what I'm saying. I'll try to keep it very slow, very connected to you guys. And first of all, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Today, I'm going to be speaking about what is the future of media buying teams with AI and automation. Even if we think that AI is going to change the game or not, in my understanding and what I have been working on, and all the years of experience that we have, I think that this is already here, and the change is inevitable. Unless we start adapting to what is happening, this is not going to make a difference. So let me, before you listen to me, I want to give you a context of who I am. My name is Vipul Taneja. I have been media buying since 15 years. In our organization, we have spent more than $100 million in ads. So we have a fair bit of experience about what there goes. And, we have been in media buying for such a long time. And over the years, we have done variety of verticals, be it dating, lead gen, US, nutraceutical. Not so much casinos. I know that's the big talk here, but not so much about that. And our teams are located globally in US, India, Dubai, and more. So that's about me. And I'm also CEO for Adsparkx and also one of the founders for Vibelets, which I will also show you today. So this is what we're going to cover today. Media buying teams, in my experience, they're going to move from people who are operating dashboard to intelligent systems and operating in a closed loop. For example, right now the biggest challenge is like for any media buying operation to be successful, there is a media buyer, there's a creative guy, there's a business development guy. There are multiple set of people, and everybody has their own context to play in the game. But as we move forward, eventually, it's going to be a closed loop. There's going to be multiple set of people and bringing agents and AI to bring the automation in. So my conversation will cover these 5 things: the origin story, the breaking point, the agentic future, the human role, and the operating layer. I'll cover one by one everything. So let's address the reality in the game. Number one point is everybody's playing the same game. We all are trying to, get the same piece of the pie. So we all are looking for the best volume, the highest converting ads. We are looking for the same speed. Our goal is like that we want to make the most profits of the campaigns that we launch, all the ads that we launch in each platform, be it Meta or Google, and then we all are looking for scale. Now, in this whole game, when we all are trying to play against the same marketplace of ads, and everybody has their own set of ads, or let's say a technology or system, how do you compete with somebody who is working 24/7? And I would like to give an analogy or an example from trading. So, for example, Forex or all the trading, this is all real time. Media buying is exactly like the same, it's real time. But the signals that we are giving to media buying is never real time. And that's a challenge. That's the current paradigm of the game. Now, let me give you an example of what is the old media buying machine. So if you have to see what I was mentioning, there were manual teams that ran on people, humans, and we all are operating with dashboards. And the most difficult part is instincts. We usually don't really talk about that, but honestly, all my years of experience, we have seen one media buyer performs better than other media buyer. How many of you had this experience, like if you train 2 media buyers the same, but there's still a lot of times one media buyer will perform better than the other media buyer? Raise of hands, how many of you seen the same problem? So it's all coming from instincts, because humans will bring their emotions in the game. Now, if you see, there is a BD, there's an offer, media buyer, creative, tracker, analyst, tech. There are so many areas of the game that are working together. And what this causes is there's a delay zone. So which means there's a lot of delay happening in terms of making decisions. And if you see, for example, something changed last night and you were sleeping and nobody was watching for it, what's going to happen next? So tomorrow morning when the media buyer comes, or the BD's available, now he's going to give information to the media buyer. There's so much lag. And there's 24-hour plus latency. And every step, there needs a meeting. that also consumes so much time because now you're talking to one person and the other person and the other person. And wins or depends on heroes. So for example, all the media buyers who have like somehow built the muscle or their strength of media buying, or let's say their gut feeling or instincts have so much in the game, they understand and only they can make profit, even if the same uh, is given to other people. And once those media buyers leave your company, you're ground zero and you have to start the same problem again. And that has been one of the common challenges I've been hearing. And nothing compounds because every day is a new day. So, for example, today I'm not feeling so well, and I had a fight with my girlfriend. My media buying capabilities also go for a toss. That's the reality because there's a human involved, right? Now, it's not I'm not saying the old model was bad or good. I mean, it worked, right? For all these years we have been this exact model has been working for us. But why it worked? Because there's a different context. In 2013, everything was manual. It was one person optimizing. The platforms were not so smart. In 2016, there was a lot of rule-based automation came in because people now were understanding the need of automation. And in 2018, there were a lot of the dashboard era kind of started in. So a lot of different data from one tracker, two platform, they all combined at one place. And 2022, the automation from the platforms came in. So people who run Google, they would understand PMax and similar things. So platforms are now getting more intelligent. They know what kind of user converts for what thing. So what is the role of like media buyers, or what is the role of business owners now left? And in 2026, it's all going to move to agentic systems, which we're going to talk next. And honestly, the problem isn't the data, it's delayed decisions. And I intentionally wrote decisions twice. Um, it may occur to you it was a mistake or was not. And it is reality of the game. Like I've had people who have spent 100,000 a day, and we have had people who probably struggle to spend $1,000 a day. And it is all the decision making they do. And the current paradigm, if you see, the dashboards, right? All the data is fragmented across different channels. Then you have to have 24/7 monitoring, which is almost unreal and impossible. But the gap of the action is most of the time the creative fatigue are spotted after there's a huge spend burn. And then the landing pages issue are found after CPS spike. How many of you had this challenge a lot of times when your running campaign suddenly goes off the toss because you find out your domain is banned or your landing page is not working? So quite a few people have seen those challenges, right? And this is all because it's impossible for anybody to watch it 24/7. And winning creative not scaled fast enough. Again, it is depending on one person and their own gut feeling to see how that goes. And if you really understand the level of complexity this has, one campaign is no longer one campaign. It is a living system of dependencies, and humans can watch it all. So, for example, there is offer. Offer has multiple variables. Then you have creative. It has multiple variables. Then there is targeting. It has a lot of variables. Then signals, like for example, landing page, CRM, compliance. Now each change is affecting other, and is affecting other, and is affecting other. So if you think realistically, this 11 combination is just an example. This example is going to give you 10,000 possible combinations, and at 24/7 velocity of the campaigns, and zero humans, you can track it all. So it's almost impossible how the game is moving right now. And um, in my understanding of how the game has been moving, this is all going to be now AI and agents going to do the job because they can play this game. Let's talk about the Act 2. So far, what we have covered is how so far the game was moving. Now we're moving towards the Act 2. Dashboards, they tell you what happened. They never tell you what to do next. So the decision making is still with the person who is making the decisions after seeing the dashboards. And dashboards are only giving you basic information about, hey, this ad is not working, or that ad is not working, or this offer is not converting sufficiently. So it is just giving some relevant information. And now those relevant information usually is not sufficient because again, the decision making is now dependent on somebody who's playing on the ground versus and has limited information. Now, Dashboards gives you now what. They don't give you what is next, right? And so far we had action systems. For example, rule-based system that we were talking about. Hey, if this ad spends more than $100 and there's no conversion, there's the no automation, we pause it. If this ad is not working, we change it, right? So the next generation won't pay for more charts or more dashboards. They will pay for better decisions. And that what is going to give the context of from operating software to operating loops. That is the future. Now, for example, humans operate software. They a lot of time we're just refreshing dashboards manually. We pull and aggregate multiple reports, and we try spend a lot of time understanding how those reports would look like, and then we have copy paste between insights between multiple tabs. There's so much same repetitive work that humans are doing every day that has no sense in the future. And there's a lot of manual rules, errors, and big changes. Of course, for people working in middle part of the world, if your campaigns are unfortunately running globally or US, you have to operate 24/7. Now, agents operates in growth loops. They observe, they reason. Reason means they analyze what's happening, and they act and learn. That's the best part. They have memory. Now, the memory is building on a certain context. So once you understand what is your business about, your agents are understanding what your business is about, it's self-learning eventually, right? And they can hourly optimize. They can work 24/7. The founders or people who are the most best of your media buyers, they become the strategists. They basically blend in the conversation now. And lastly, only edge case surface to humans. Now, the difference between um, traditional teams versus agentic system would look like this. For example, the same traditional workflow, there is decision latency. Optimization cycles is 1-2 times a day. Then you have a lot of, team size is probably 8 to 10 people. And then you have limited creative testing a week. Your signals are very limited, and there's this sizable spend that is getting wasted over and over again because of this design. Now, in the future, with the agency system, the decision latency is going to go down less than 5 minutes. The optimization cycle is now continuous. The team size is 3 strategists and agents. So you're reducing your manpower cost, or even if you don't want to reduce your manpower cost, you can improve the efficiency with the same amount of people. And your number of creative testing can definitely increase. Your signals can be way more, and wasted spend before fix is very little now. And this is going to continuously improve. This is not going to be limiting here. And so same operators, same offers, but the compounding edge is the difference. That's the system. As you grow, the limitation of humans is not going to play the game because all AI and technology going to play the game forward. Now, if this is how the future should look like, that's what I think. So agents are going to be talking to agents. The future media buying team is a coordinated agent network exchanging signals continuously. They are always exchanging ideas on what's working and what is not working. So for example, there's a founder agent, which is probably some of you in the room, or let's say a strategist who understands the game, is designing this loop. And there's a creative agent, then they're talking to a media buying agent, then they're talking to a data agent, then offer a CRM agent, and then compliance, finance, and there could be way more. This is just an example of how it could look like, but they're absolutely depending on the business you're in. There will be many agents, and if you see all that there is that we are doing right now, we are having 10 people, and they are having 10 meetings a day. Now this is 10 agents talking all the time. So if you understand, this is network of conversations between agents. Multiple conversations between multiple agents is passing on the information to each other about this is working and this is not working, and that is designing the systems to see what is going to move forward. So every signal becomes a message, every message triggers a decision, and humans supervise the conversation, not the clicks. So now they're moving towards what's going to work versus what is just what click you have to make. And the best part is this is a live sync. This is happening all real time. Now, how the loop actually runs, right? Let's say if there are 5 stages. There is number 1 stage is observe. the agents are going to be learning. Number two stage is diagnose. They will figure out what is not working and why it is not working. Number three stage is decision. What is the next best decision in this case? Number four is execute with the guardrails. So execution right now is still going to have a lot of guardrails because AI is not fully autonomous right now, and they are supposed to make mistakes. And the last is learn. And this five loop is going to continuously improve your decision making over and over again because this has campaign intelligence and the memory is getting updated regularly versus a human who has limited context of memory, which is also depending on their moods, feelings, and situations. So what this gives us is 60 times faster weekly reviews. This example, there's a creative fatigue and the CTR is dropping on top ad. It's going to be, quickly analyzing that, give 5 new books and probably launch that creative very quickly. And there's not going to be a wait time on this. And the best part is you can decide how much autonomy you want to bring in the system. There could be multiple layers of autonomy. Like if you want to give AI full charge, or you're fully confident depending on how your structure is and how much automation you've done. Or you could say, hey, I still want to decide what actions AI takes right now. So depending on how your business infrastructure is and how good your AI is, it can be autonomous. Now, just forwarding, there are some, let's say, understanding some agents. For example, this creative agent, right now its core capabilities are hooks and script generation, UGC creative briefs, thumbnails, angle testing. There are more variants that we're going to talk about. And the best part of these agents are they're constantly learning from what is working, right? So they know what has been working. The automation that we can bring in is the moment there's a CTR dip, the moment we experience there's a creative that is already going down, or the hook rate is going down, or people are not seeing the full ads, the new actions are automatically triggered. And the output could be new hooks, new briefs, and so on. Okay. Similar to creative agent, there's going to be media buying agent. Now, media buying agent is going to do the same job as what your media buyer does. It's analyzing the data, it's understanding what is happening, and it is making changes. The actions could be auto scaling on what's working, and the other things. And then there's scaling strategy. The best part about these agents is, like, for example, if you figured out a scaling strategy or something that works, you give the signals of scaling strategy to the agent, and you don't have to wait for media buyers to scale for you guys. Similar, there could be a data intelligent agent, and the job is to obviously read data and understand what's working and give more signals to other agents, because this agent is core trained to understand the data that plays in the game. And this is just an example of how many agents can we bring in the conversation. There can be probably 20 more agents, right? And the theory that I'm trying to emphasize on is the more context that we give to our agents and more understanding we give them to our business is going to give us the next actions. Now, compliance and risk agent. A lot of time, this is something that in my experience have been very undermined. A lot of people who are into lead generation or nutraceutical or even gaming, like they forget there's compliance in the game, which ends up them having a very risk on their business. So what happens is, like, you can decide, what are the inputs? For example, what are the ad copy that is allowed or not allowed, and the claims, the client policy, platform policies, and your content can always be aligned to this. And this gives you the best ideas. You can approve and block if you want to run something or not run something, change something. You can flag for human review if there's a limitation, and then you can rewrite suggestions based on what your business requires. Similarly, now there's another agent, which is a technology agent. Now, technology agent's role is to connect everything. All the APIs have to connect together. So you're connecting to Meta, Google, your CRM, your builders, your backend. You can also connect this to your client portals to understand if you're meeting your KPIs or not. And what this gives you is unified events, automated operations, so you don't have to do anything manually, and instant alerts. So this is something that very commonly we are seeing in media buying teams now, like Slack and WhatsApp or Telegram is where you get the notifications on, hey, you have to make an action on this is not working, and you change this, etc. And the best part is you have a founder level summary that gives you a daily roll-up versus now you have to do a meeting with your team to understand, hey, this is working or not working. Now you just tell, hey, how was the performance of the team yesterday? And it will give you a very simple logic to understand that game. Now, the biggest question is what happens to the human in the play, right? A lot of people would understand that if AI is the future and agents are going to do this, what is left for you? The most important part is that humans, they don't disappear. Our job is to level up. As human civilization, we're always leveling up. Now, from we running media buying or doing everything manually, our job is to design these loops. So, for example, my first part is agents. For example, execution. Execution, everything can be done by agents because you can give them what action they have to take. Then there's level two where there's supervision. Now the supervision has human role still. If this is going in the right direction or not going in the right direction, are we making some changes? Then the strategy. This is where we still are in the game. We are strategizing on what has to happen. And number four is taste and judgment. Now, AI, honestly, they can't copy this. There's a human touch that is still required in the play, and that gives the direction of the game. And last is partnerships and deals. Probably this is where why here in this conference to make those things. AI, I don't think yet is fully there. Maybe in future every company has a business development agent talking to another agent and cracking deals. But probably right now, this is currently the future is a little away in my experience and understanding. So the only thing that human is changing or the supervision is changing is the execution. This is where most work is moving to agents. So execution area is basically where agents are going to come in. And what this gives us is from refreshing dashboards, we're designing loops, and we are changing all of this. And this is the new structure of team. That's how it's going to look like. A 10-person team probably becomes a 3-person AI orchestrated pods. And what they're doing is all the 10 humans, now they are structured in this structure where we have a growth strategist, there's a creative strategies, there's an operations person, and they have multiple agents working with them. There's a continuously agent that is always spying and researching and developing new protocols. And then there's a media agent, a creative agent, and for example, all the agents that I just discussed with you before. Now, in this whole design, what we're seeing is that it's the same output, but the best part is the speed is more, and very less signals are being missed. This is what, in my experience, what you should do in the next 90 days. Your first action is the foundation of whatever you want to do in AI. The first action should be you map your decisions. For example, which are your decisions or actions that you're repeating every week? So, for example, 3 p.m. every day, I launch new campaigns. This is a repetitive action. So you have to make a list of all the actions and then tag cost on the delay of each one. So you decide, hey, how much time or manpower or cost is attached to this action that is happening repetitively right now. The second phase is you unify this to all one source. So for example, your spend, CRM, payouts, refund, everything has to come to one platform. And you have this connects to the ad platform, tracker, and CRM, and this defines your lead quality or your sale quality or scoring of that. So you first know which actions are you repetitively doing, and then you connect bring all the data to one place. And the third part is you write down what best buyer does on autopilot. So for example, all your top media buyers or probably your best creative strategies, what are the things that they do, what actions are they taking, you capture that. So, and then the fourth is you deploy your first agent. And you just see, okay, pick one loop, just one. So for example, start with creative. Hey, I'm going to start with only creative. I'm going to make sure my creatives are done autonomously and they're the best. And it depends on what my best media buyer has been doing, and I'm going to bring forward from that. And then the fifth part is the most critical here. You decide and audit your agents. So creating agent is probably easier, but making sure they have the right context and they're playing the right game is where your energy has to go the most. So you have to make sure you're auditing your agents and promote your winners to auto-execute. And last is, once you understand the whole game, you add 1 or 2 new loops every week or every couple of weeks. That eventually gives you the foundation of all the AI work. And this probably in next 90 days or next 150 days, it will give you a lot of game to automate for yourself. We have created an operating layer that does the same thing. We created a product called Vibelets.ai. This is all happening here. So what our product does is, so we have product intelligence. So for example, whatever product you have, you just put your URL in the software, and it will bring out all the relevant information about the product, and it will start analyzing what the product looks like and what your business is about. And then the second step is it will, based on what we have gathered so far and what the business is about, we'll start creating videos or images or what kind of ads you need. And the third is we have an AI media buyer that automatically launches, scales, and pauses whatever is not working or whatever the underperformers are. And then we have live alerts. So whatever is not working, and or probably you logged in the platform at 7 p.m. and then now you re-log in at 10 p.m. You want to see what happened in the last 3 hours. You're going to get information about that. And the visual intelligence. So every winning ad or broken by hook or all the data you want is available for us in the platform. And the best part is from launching or starting to think about launching a campaign to actually launching a campaign, it can be done in less than 5 minutes. So what we are bringing is all, and this is created from all the hard work and learnings that we had and failures we had over the years, because we have made so many mistakes over and over again, and we understand what it takes to media buy and what is required to scale and understand, right? So you just paste a URL and your full campaign is live less than 5 minutes, and it's very easy, and you don't need like big teams to do that. And I'll just like give you an access of how this looks like. So the first part is you read your brand and then build creatives. Now this time is probably 10-15 seconds. We don't take more than that. And then we create 3 to 10 variations of what you want very quickly, and then we launch and optimize. So basically everything is launched and ready in less than 5 minutes, and then we start and learn and compound. And what happens is it's constantly evolving and learning from each other, and the platform is improving. And it is built for operators who live in performance, right? The most important thing is it's built for affiliate and media buying teams, performance agencies, e-commerce brand, lead gen, B2B. And the best part that it gives us is saves you so much money here. It gives you measurable leverage, is created throughput, and it saves you time. And most importantly, what I feel is as the world is moving forward, this is gonna grow more and more from here. The best part about our platform is how many of you use ChatGPT or any other Claude or any other softwares? The best part is our platform is designed in very same way. This is not a regular SaaS platform. You basically have the option, or the way you connect with the platform is by talking to it. So the way you talk to your media buyers, you can just chat with the platform. Hey, give me the top 5 ads that were working yesterday. Hey, this account is not performing. Can you analyze it for me? Can you make sure, tell me what are the next 5 actions should I take to improve performance? So the platform is learning with you. It's always evolving. And as it is evolving, it is obviously getting more context. And the best part is you can talk to it. So the world is moving from, by clicking dashboards to talk to them. And it is, as I was talking about conversations earlier, this is from clicks to conversation, it is moving. So you can ask anything. Scale my top 3 performers by 30%, show me yesterday's fatigue report, move 5K from Meta to TikTok. So literally everything on those things the platform can do now. And some of these things are on the way. It's in the beta phase, but most of it is ready. So this is what agents talking to agents feel like while you're in the conversation. And lastly, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me. That's all I have. And you can connect me with here, or if you want to book a demo of the platform, it's right away. Thank you so much.